Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Accidental Beauty. If you're new, welcome. My name's Laura. I'm a makeup enthusiast and I post makeup related content usually about once a week. Sometimes I branch out into other beauty related areas, but my whole channel is obviously beauty related. You can tell by the name. Today I am going to be talking about 3 single shadows that I bought from MAC. They're not new at all. I'm just new to the brand. I really don't own too many MAC products, and their single eyeshadows and just their eyeshadow palettes were really out of my price league for many years. So I actually never got on the MAC eyeshadow train, but I treated myself recently. I was looking for very specific colors. So if you guys want to see my unfiltered review, first impressions, and swatches on my eyes and my arm, then please keep on watching. So another day, another swatching video. I feel like nobody talks about MAC shadows anymore because I guess A, they're not cruelty free and a lot of people have gone cruelty free, and then B, there's just so many other brands out there that I feel like have high quality shadows for less, and most of those brands are indie brands and they're cruelty free. A lot of them are POC owned, so I feel like people want to support smaller brands owned by people who have been marginalized to kind of raise those people in those communities up. I was looking for very specific shades and I found them on the MAC website. I kind of had a hard time finding them on smaller indie brands websites, and if I found shades that looked kind of similar to what I was looking for, there weren't a lot of swatches out there. There were very few swatches, so I felt like because MAC is a bigger brand, there are more swatches out there, and I was able to tell exactly what shades I was getting. So these are the 3 shades that I got. They're in my Shop Miss A magnetic palette. I'll leave links for all the products that I'm using in the description box below if you're interested. Oh yeah, another thing, so these are actually the first MAC shadows that I've ever touched, that I've ever owned. I haven't used MAC shadows before because they are kind of pricey. So a thing that I noticed is, I guess the pans that they use aren't magnetic, but that wouldn't make sense because they're metal. Oh, maybe they're plastic actually. So they have these little magnets stuck to the back, but I guess because it's a smaller magnet and maybe it's not as strong. With a lot of my other single shadows, where the, what do you call this, like the pan that they're in is metal and it just sticks very easily to these magnetic backings. Those, I guess the strength of the magnet is a lot stronger. These, there isn't as much pull when I stick them in. So it feels like these are going to move around a lot, but they don't. Like I can hold this upside down and they're not actually moving. So that's good. Oh, maybe, no, they do move around a little bit. I mean, I'm trying not to shake it too much. So just something to note, because I didn't realize that. I just assumed that these magnetic pans were kind of the same as other brands, but evidently not. I'll probably make a separate video on this, but the reason why I bought these specific shades was I've wanted the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette from the second that it launched. Probably from whenever they started posting photos about it, I wanted it so badly, but I'm allergic to probably about half the shades because of the pigment that they use. I'll link a video over here if you are interested in learning more about my allergy. I'm not going to get into it in this video. So I was looking to essentially dupe that palette in single shadows. I did buy a dupe palette and I really don't like the quality. I think I have a video of that. If I have it, I'll link it over here if you're interested. I don't love the quality and I wanted something more pigmented. A lot of the kind of like DIY versions of the palette using single shadows in kind of like a magnetic palette setup like this. I've watched maybe not every single one of those videos, but I watched a lot of them, and I was hoping that I could just kind of pick up the shades that they used and make my own version of the palette, since a lot of the shades that they swatched match pretty closely. Unfortunately, most of those shades are discontinued. The shades that people use, the ones that they had in their collection, were Makeup Geek single shadows, and unfortunately Makeup Geek has pretty much culled all of their old shadows, reformulated them into square pans for some reason, and a lot of the old shades that they had are gone. I don't know if they're slowly reintroducing those old shades in their new square format. Unfortunately, I had to like scour the internet. I spent probably weeks looking up colors. Anyways, I'll talk about that more in the video once all my shades arrive. Okay, the shades we have are Plumage, Stormwatch, and Concrete. As I've been doing with all of these videos so far, I've been priming one eye with the NYX Wonder Stick and leaving the other eye unprimed so you can see the difference between a primed eye and an unprimed eye. As I've been doing, I'm just going to use this flat brush from e.l.f. I find it's really good at packing on shadow, and let's just get swatching. I'm going to go into this first shade over here, which is Plumage. Oh yeah, these don't stick. Like if I'm like these just slide around. So I'm going to just dip my brush in down here because they don't have a strong magnet. Okay, there's a bit of kick up here. Okay, so right off the bat, this isn't as pigmented as I would have expected from a brand like MAC. I'm a little disappointed, not gonna lie. Now it can be built up, like I am building up the color, but it is very sheer. Okay, let's try the prime side. Maybe it'll do better. Okay, yeah, priming definitely makes a difference here. You can definitely tell the difference between the primed side and the unprimed side. I quite like that color actually. It's really interesting. It's like a deep, kind of like a peacock turquoise. I don't know how else to describe it. It's like a dark teal. Really, really pretty. So this is Plumage. Just wipe off my brush. All right, so the next shade is Stormwatch. I imagine it's going to be the same situation with all of the shades, that the primed side makes a difference. Alright, let's see how it performs on the primed side. Okay, so it's a little bit patchy. It's not the worst. Could be just how I'm applying it as well, but it's still a beautiful color. Very similar to the last one. This is so beautiful, but like, yeah, like you can't even compare primed versus unprimed. So this is Stormwatch. So the last shade is Concrete. It's a little bit difficult to do this on an unprimed eye. Oh, actually, decent amount of pigment there. This is exactly the type of gray I would use to do like a sort of traditional goth smoky eye. Beautifully cool toned. If I do too much of this, I feel like I'd look like I have a black eye, but kind of like it. It's like very neutral for me. I do not use neutral colors, but for neutral days, this would actually be nice. Okay, so let's see how it does on the primed side. Oh my god, you can't even compare them. Look at that pigment. I actually really love this color. It's very, very cool toned. How can I describe this? It's got like kind of a either a green or a blue or something in here to give it that, like, it's not just gray. There's something else in there to make it look so grungy. It's a really cool color actually. Looks totally different on my eyes. This side, it looks way more warm tone than this side. Kind of prefer this shade over this one, but really, really nice. So this is Concrete. Okay, so let's swatch these on my arm. I'm not going to prime my arm, but I'm going to try and build up the color as best as I can. So let's just zoom in and I'll turn down the lights a bit. Okay, so first I'm going to do Plumage. Let's try and build up that color just a little bit. Next I'm going to do Stormwatch. Okay, I just want a little bit more pigment. I apologize, it looks really, really bad. But as you can see, compared to Plumage, it's way more green toned, even though in the pans, Stormwatch looks more blue toned. And then last, I'm gonna do Concrete. Let's do a little bit more pigment. And that is Concrete. So that's the 3 MAC shadows. This is actually kind of a really nice, grungy, smoky, gothic kind of color scheme that I have going on here. Like I could probably do a look with just these 3 shadows. It would be very dark though. All right, so I'm gonna just finish off the rest of my face and then I'll be back with my final thoughts. Okay, so I put on the rest of my face. This is what it looks like. I'm not wearing any of the shadows, obviously, because I'm filming a couple videos today, so I didn't want any confusion between them and I didn't want to have to like do a new look for each video, so I'm just doing one with no products that I talk about, but if you're interested in what's on my face, then you can look in the description box below. I've got all the products that I used and the ones that I mentioned. All right, let's talk about these shadows. So overall, I really enjoyed the quality. They didn't pack as much of a punch like immediately as I guess I've kind of been spoiled by indie brands, but they were really nice. Let's talk about them individually. So Plumage, I feel like I kind of had to build it up a little bit, but it was a beautiful color. Surprisingly more blue tone than how it looks in the pan, but really pretty. I'd probably give it a solid 4.5 out of 5. I just wish the pigmentation level was like maybe a little bit stronger at the beginning, but otherwise no complaints. And then Stormwatch, surprisingly more green tone than how it looks in the pan. Like I feel like the way that they look in the pan, they look like they're the opposite colors, but no complaints otherwise. Like pigmentation was great. Really pretty colors. I'd say the same thing, 4.5 out of 5. I wish the pigmentation was maybe a little bit stronger, but I didn't have any problems building it up or layering or even blending out, even though the point of this video is just swatching, not blending, but since I had a little bit of extra pigment, it blended out really nicely. And then Concrete, really interesting, unique color. I mean, all three of them are very interesting colors. Again, no problems. I wish it was a little bit more pigmented, like all three of them. And it also, this one looked very different on the unprimed side compared to the prime side, so that was a little weird. But I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5 because it's a pretty solid color regardless. And yeah, I'm really happy overall. Do I think they're worth how much I paid? No, I think honestly, I don't really see a difference in quality between these and let's say the ColourPop ones. So it's just a brand marking up the price. But I mean, other than that, I'm really happy. Would I buy from MAC again? Probably not unless I couldn't find the color that I'm looking for anywhere else. As I mentioned before, I was looking for very specific colors, so I felt like these delivered really well. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I know it's a little bit redundant because I feel like the trend of using MAC shadows has kind of come and gone about, I don't know, 5 years ago. But I'm new to this because I wasn't able to afford MAC shadows before. I like the quality, I just find like there's better options out there. Like not like I didn't like them, like I thought they were good. I didn't find anything wrong with them per se. I think I've just been spoiled by other brands and the pigmentation levels that they use. So I know it sounds like I'm kind of bashing MAC, but I'm totally not, especially for pro makeup artists who are doing, you know, a lot of faces in one day, or even just for a serious makeup enthusiast who's doing a lot of intricate looks. I feel like, I mean, I guess I don't know why I'm looking because I'm not even wearing MAC shadows, but I guess you kind of do want to be able to build up your colors and start off with a bit of a softer color and then build it up, blend it out, so on and so forth. So I'm definitely going to play around with these a lot more. I feel like, especially for darker colors, I guess I wouldn't want them to be super pigmented from the get-go. I think I'm just kind of spoiled by what's out there. But that said, I really did enjoy them. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. That would really mean a lot to me, really help out my channel. Let me know in the comment section below if you've used MAC shadows before, if you have any recommendations for MAC shadows or other products. I'd love to hear your recommendations. Also, if you have any like video ideas or just products that you'd like to see me review or looks that you'd like to see me do, I'm always open to suggestions. I'm always open to constructive criticism. So as long as it's constructive, I'd love to hear it. If you like the type of looks that I do here on my channel, I'm sure you'll enjoy my content that I post on my other social media accounts. So I'd love if you could give me a follow. I've got links in the description box if you want to check those out. That would mean a lot. And if you enjoy the types of videos that I do here, I would really love it and appreciate it if you guys could subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications. That way you'll get an update every time I upload a new video. It would really mean a lot to me. And that's about all I have to say, and I'll see you guys next time.